was it that had you choose to do a home that was more sustainable?
I grew up, very close family friends of ours built the first solar passive house in Canberra.
Oh, nice.
So it was something that I've been aware of since I was very little.
Yeah.
So I have always appreciated what a solar passive house can be like, and what it can contribute. So my criteria when we went, we didn't especially go looking for a place to knock down or to build new, but I always wanted somewhere with a north-facing backyard and lots of windows to the north, so that we could take advantage of, you know, the sun and everything from there. And we found a lovely block with a very tiny house on it that was not going to be suitable to renovate. So knocking down and building solar passive was, what I'd always wanted to do.
It's interesting too, because in Perth, it's a heating climate. There's more energy used in Perth to heat homes than there is to cool them, and people think it's the other way around.
Yeah.
So choosing to get a good north-facing block to get great access to the sun is critical. So
Yeah,
so
and I found it ridiculous. So I grew up in Canberra, which is freezing cold.
it is.
And Perth is not, but the houses in Perth get so much colder in winter than they should. It's just ridiculous. But
So Carl, did you come along for the ride, or?
No, we've been kicking tyres for over 10 years. And I wasn't really much into the solar passive. Mel educated me along the way, and it just made perfect sense, especially when we've had a couple of conversations with you, how it doesn't cost extra to get a solar passive house that functions and works. And
So interesting too, because your home is reverse veneer, what I call isolated mass construction. So we're in a seaside suburb. We can see the ocean down here through that beautiful picture window, which is facing directly west, and yet we've dealt with that in the design. It's an important thing that you don't have to be as strict as some people say, because you wouldn't want to lose that view. It's just stunning. But your home is weatherboard, so it's a ceramic weatherboard. Very, very good even in a fire, not that that's an issue here. And also you brick on the inside with 2 layers of insulation between the two. And you're a 2-storey house with a loft, so there's 3 levels. So therefore it means 2 stories are hard to protect in summer. So therefore by choosing your isolated mass and you're choosing the weatherboard, it means you get a better performance in summer and winter. So tell me about the performance. You've been in the house, how long is it now?
Year and a half.
Year and a half.
Yep.
Okay. So you've been through
2 summers and this is our second winter.
Almost 2 winters.
Yeah.
And this is the worst winter we've had, well, depending what you call worst, for a long period of time. So
well, for this winter we spent 0 on heating.
0 on heating. Yeah, right.
That's we've got a wood burner, but all the wood that I've sourced has all been from Birchside or friends that have cut down trees. So all that's cost us a bit of labour.
And he mostly puts that on just because he likes the fire, not because we
It's
necessarily need it to stay
it's
warm.
more for the ambience than it is to stay warm. So the house takes 3 days to cool down. So all we need is a couple of hours of sunshine. Less than this, what the intensity of today is. And that actually heats the house back up. This area it's a good thermal regulator. When this heats up, we can open the cavity slider, and that actually travels through into the house.
Across to the bedroom, although a little bit would go in the loft. The loft would be really nice and warm and cozy.
The loft's been
winter.
great when I've had to work from home in the winter. It's a great place to be.
No, it is up there. So that door is critical. You bring that door up. That airlock door, which is a very large sliding door, slides into the wall. Critical for the design of this place, so you can actually close that off and have an airlock and build up the heat. That short wavelength, that direct gain into the floor, then releases long wavelength into the walls, because you've got the right amount of wall mass and floor mass with the right amount of glazing, with the right volume of air. So that obviously works. So how often would you say you need the fireplace?
We actually need it maybe twice.
Yeah.
And even then, it's a case of Mel telling me to go put some tracksuit pants on as opposed to walking around in a pair of board shorts and no onions. So we very easily change it to putting on appropriate, put a jumper on, put a pair of Uggies on, and it's not much of a difference. So we actually didn't need the fire, but it's just purely because I want to have a fire.
So tell me a bit more about summer then. I mean, we're coming into summer and summer is a memory at the moment. So, but you've been through 2 summers and you're very exposed. I mean, there's a lot of glazing. You have the pelmets with good drapes, the shears, as well as a good block out drape. But so therefore you can use that to manage the home in summer. So how, because some people are worried that you have to pull the drapes across in summer all the time to protect it. So how often would you feel as if you'd need to pull them across in summer?
So we definitely have to pull the one across the western wall in the afternoon in summer. Otherwise that heats up far too much and burns your eyes out from the sun as well. So in summer that one has to be pulled closed. This one, it depends, because when the sun's directly overhead, it's fine.
There's
so
no actual gain into the house. The sun actually doesn't come directly onto the tiles.
It's I guess as the sun, in between, as the sun's a little bit lower or whatever in the sky, then I guess on days over 40 degrees, we generally close up earlier in the day when we know it's going to be really hot. But and if we do that, it keeps the temperature down.
And the good thing is, because of the al fresco area you have, which is facing north, so it's a good warm al fresco area actually in winter, and protected in summer, you can close these, but of course leave that open there, and then you still have the light washing through here. So
and we're pretty lucky. Whenever the sea breeze comes in Perth, then we don't need to have anything closed up. The sea breeze just cools the place down.
So tell me, how do you manage that? Tell me about how because you've got, downstairs, the kids are downstairs, you're upstairs.
Yep.
So tell me how you manage the airflow.
Well, we just need to crack 1 or 2 windows downstairs. That might be, whether it be south or whether it be north, it doesn't really matter. We've got a couple of windows cracked downstairs, and we open the loft window, then you can actually feel the draw of the heat coming through from the bottom slab. So the cool air gets drawn up through the house, and you can stand at the top of the stairs in the loft, and you can feel that cold air getting drawn through. And here, if you just use the windows appropriately, then it actually moves the hot air out. Once again, with the sea breeze, you actually don't want a lot of windows open, otherwise you get blown away.
Because that's what's called the stack effect, because heat stacks from a low pressure, high temperature, which is low pressure, which is going up. Then in your case, you've got that stacking, high-low pressure effect, but also you have a Venturi effect, because the air will race through this house and create even more heat to transfer out of the house, even with very, very low breezes. So how many kilowatts of PVs do you have on the roof?
6.6.
6.6.
Yeah.
So, and what are your energy bills? You've got 2 children, so there's 4 of you in the home.
Yeah, 4 of us, and we've got quite a big pool, so running the pool as well.
The pool,
so we used to live in a very small 3-bedroom townhouse, and we have exactly the same energy costs here as what we had there. So it's about $1,100 a year for quite a large house, family of 4, running a swimming pool and everything else.
And without having to compromise on anything, we could get it down a lot easily, but
you don't have to.
Well, it's a balance between having the washing machine on at 6 o'clock at night or having it on 12 o'clock.
But and I guess a lot of that cost is the supply cost, right? It's not like it's the transmission, not the cost of the power itself. It's all the fees that you have to pay. We've absolutely taken advantage of the north-facing backyard, and Carl's got his little farm going down the back, his little urban farm with the chooks and the veggies and the fruit trees.
Part of the design when we were talking about it was to have a minimal footprint and to maximise green space. And we've been fortunate that we've had, it was good design, effective design, and there wasn't too much tweaking from the initial plan to get made the spaces that we wanted on a relatively large house and only using not even half the building envelope.
We designed this home to be universal access. Do you notice any difference in the way the home's designed, in the way you operate each day, because of the wide doorways, hallways, that type of thing, flush thresholds and showers?
No, it actually probably makes, well, for the bathrooms, universal access makes it easy to clean. Cleaning's my
True.
turn.
Carl does the cleaning, so he does very
So
well.
that in itself is that I can go in and I can vacuum the bathroom and then come through with a mop, and there's no hobs. There's no it's spacious. You're not cramped, and we know that should either of us become infirm, we can still live in the house, even though it's a 2-story. There's just minor modifications. Which would actually be a stair lift, but that's it. We know that we can live in here until we're...
Yeah, the big wide staircase has, you know, it's certainly been effective for bringing furniture and stuff into the house, but I think it just makes it feel nice, much more spacious, and we love it. And so we've only moved 600 metres from our old place to here, but with smart design, the house is so much more comfortable. And the other one was still north facing with most of the windows and things, but not quite to the same level as this one. So just having a comfortable home, and you know, we have people walk in and even comment that it just feels nice to walk in. It's also calm because I think the extra insulation, it dulls some of the sort of street noise and that sort of thing as well. So it's a lovely sanctuary to come home to, and it's always comfortable. We love it.
Oh, that's great.
It feels, even people that have had Troco come in, and they just say it feels like a well-built, comfortable home. And that was through, even when certain trades were coming through on the build stage, they just go, it feels like a nice home. So these guys that have been doing it for decades.
Yeah, it's interesting how many trades say that they like working on these homes because they feel different, particularly if they're working on them in winter and it's been locked up and they're inside. They can't believe, like, they'd be freezing in these other homes and they have to strip off their gear into their big jackets and things and work inside. So it's great that bit by bit is transforming the way they think about it because they have to.
It's been great. We love it. Thank you.
No, my pleasure. No, I love doing it.